Hi everyone, I am April. I'm one of the transfer admissions counselors at University of Illinois.
And I'm Casey. I'm also a transfer admissions counselor.
And congratulations on your admission. We're very excited for you, and for about the next 20 minutes or so, we're just going to chat with you, we're going to have some fun, we're going to go through your next steps of the enrollment process.
So if you haven't already done so, the first thing you'll need to do is access your admitted student checklist. And how you do that is through your MyAlliance account, the same one that you applied through. So when you log into the account, it's going to have a screen that just welcomes you. On the left-hand side, under the box that says Apply, there are going to be little blue words that say something along the lines of Transfer App Fall 2017. If you click on those words, it's going to take you to your admitted student checklist, and you can do pretty much everything you need for the next steps from that checklist.
Now, once you get into the checklist, your very first step will be to accept your offer of admission. So it's going to be a very exciting moment in your life, life-changing. So just go ahead and follow the instructions to officially accept your offer of admission, and then from there you pretty much have access to all the other steps on the checklist.
And so the next box underneath the accept or decline section is the financial aid section. So if you haven't already submitted your FAFSA, I encourage you to do so as soon as you possibly can. If you have, you will be able to access your award letter right from that box. And you don't have to accept your offer in order to access that award letter. If you have any questions about the award letter, or if maybe you're unable to see it, I would encourage you to contact the Office of Student Financial Aid, and they can kind of assist you with all of that.
Yeah, and we also, I guess we should probably mention, if you have questions right now about transfer admission or coming to campus in general, go ahead and send those questions in the Facebook Live chat. Is that right? So we can actually answer them right now, real time. We'll get those answers to you. So feel free to send us your questions as we're talking to, and then we'll pretty much stop. We're keeping it casual so we can get you those answers right away. So after the financial aid step on your admitted checklist, the next portion will be to claim your net ID and set up your password. So the net ID is basically your access to getting into all of the student portals at Illinois. So this is a very important step. Once you claim your ID, make sure you write it down. This will also be the beginning part of your Illinois email address. So this is the same exact first part before the @illinois.edu portion. So write that down, write your password down. We don't have access to that information, so make sure you keep it with you. It's going to be something that you use actually during your entire time on campus, so not just your first year, but your following years before you graduate as well. So just follow the steps on there to claim that ID.
And after that, you're going to see the next box is housing. And as transfer students, you're going to have a couple of different options for housing. So if you have more than 30 credit hours, you're going to be able to either live on or off campus, whatever you prefer. So if you have less than 30 credit hours, or you have not lived on campus at another university for 1 year, then you will be required to live on campus. If you have over the 30, then you can live on campus or you can live off campus. So now I'll tell you a little bit about what those different options are. So the first option is university housing. So those are going to be somewhat of the more traditional style housing. Generally speaking, 2 students to a room, 2 beds, 2 desks, 2 dressers, things along those lines. And those are all owned by the university, so they're going to be somewhat similar in terms of size and amenities. There's also a transfer cluster in one of the university housing residence halls. So if you want to live on campus, you want to be around other transfer students, you can select that transfer cluster, and that way you can meet other students who have come from similar backgrounds like you. The other option is private certified housing, and there are 15 of those residence halls. And so with private certified housing, they're all privately owned, so they're all going to be a little bit different in terms of size and amenities. So if you still want to live on campus, but maybe you want to have a bit of your own space, you want to have your own bathroom, you want to have a kitchen where you can do some of your own cooking, maybe if you want a religiously affiliated residence hall, something along those lines, you can live within private certified housing. Both of those websites are great resources for all of the residence halls. You can look at pictures, take virtual tours of them. You can find out the rates for the different residence halls. Also on the private certified housing website, there's a checklist where you can actually go in, start to select the amenities that you're looking for, and it'll start narrowing down your options from there. If you do want to live off campus though, and maybe you just have no idea where to even start that process because there's a lot of different apartments to choose from, we have a tenant union on our campus that will kind of assist you through that process, finding an apartment, reading the lease, and finding out what the best option is for you.
And then next, I'll actually say the next couple steps. The one right after that is going to be your tuition and billing payment options. There's specific instructions on there, so just make sure you go through that in detail and set that information up. There's also a link on there to the financial services office too. So they're really going to be your main contact if you have any questions regarding tuition, billing, and payment. The next step, which is probably what all of you are interested in, is your registration for classes. Now we know this isn't your first time at the rodeo, and that's pretty much the only reason why I wore this hat. But we just want to make sure, you know, at every institution it could be a little having some technical difficulties.
All right, so with your registration, that's really going to be the next important step for you.
Yes.
Because, of course, we know you're all interested in what classes you're going to be taking when you do get here.
Yes. So, you take a breather here. Okay, back on track to registration. Okay. So as you're going through your checklist and you get to the registration step, probably the first thing that you want to do is actually sign up for the date that you are attending your registration. So for our transfer or incoming transfer students, you're actually going to be registering at the very end of April / throughout the month of May. So that's when we are really prioritizing the transfer registration. In June is when our incoming freshmen register. So if you still need more time to accept your offer after May 1st, that's perfectly fine, but please keep in mind that we do our transfer registration in the month of May. So if you end up not being able to select a date at that time because they've all been taken, you will have to wait until the week before classes start in August to complete your registration. If that's the case, I mean, you'll be fine. You'll get into the courses that you need to take, but in terms of like availability of times the classes are being offered, days of the week, that kind of thing, that might not be available to you at that time. So we'll take care of you either way, but always better to register as soon as possible, get it done, get it out of the way. So the sooner that you can look to accept your offer, the better. So make sure to go through that portal. Now, if anybody does have a true conflict with any of the dates available, there is a link on there to fill out a conflict form. It's a summer registration conflict form. This would be a conflict if you really won't be in the area, and when I say in the area, it's actually within 500 miles of campus, during any of the dates that are available for your program. Go ahead and fill out that form, let us know the reason. It will take some time for us to get back to you with another option to complete registration. It might be a later date, it might be an online registration, but that's something that we have to get cleared with the department itself. So please just be patient with us. It could take a week or so, but you will get an official response back from us when we can help you out with your situation. But as soon as you can, complete the sign up for your registration date.
Yep, and then after that, the next step is going to be your college registration homework. Now keep in mind, as we're kind of going through these steps at this point in time, some of them may still be grayed out because you do have to accept your offer and claim your net ID before you can move on to some of the other things. So as of right now, if you've already done those other two steps, your college registration homework should be available to you. Now this is important for you to complete about 2 weeks prior to your summer registration date. Now even though we use the word homework, it's not serious homework. You're not going to get graded on it, but you do want to take it seriously because it's going to help make sure that your advisor can choose the classes that are best for you. They know what you've taken so far. They're going to work with you to get in the classes that you need, but the registration homework is just going to kind of help them through that process because we want to make sure that you get the best classes for your knowledge and for your career path.
Yes, and the next part is placement exams and also proficiency tests as well. So we do get a lot of questions about this step, especially with our transfers. It can work a little bit different than our incoming freshmen. So first thing to be aware is that we don't even think that all the placement exams will be available to you for those that are registering in late April, early May. So it might just become available around that time. If your registration date that you selected is going to be earlier than when our placement exams are posted, still plan to come on your registration date. That is not a problem. Your advisors will still be able to work with you. We just want to make sure to get you signed up as soon as possible. So With the placement exams, though, if you are required to take them, the way that you would know is by looking, first there is a link on that, a checklist step, to get you to kind of to the placement exam and proficiency exam website so that you can actually see, based on your college, what exams you'll need to take. Now for transfer students, it can be a little bit easier to actually figure out because the main rule is that if you haven't really taken any college level courses and received college credit for a particular subject and you plan to take that course or that subject area on our campus, then you will need to complete a placement exam. But for the most part, you know, for when you're applying to your specific major, you already had to complete certain classes, so those were already your prerequisites to get into the next courses you need on our campus. So just go ahead and look at that website, check out the chart, and see if anything is really going to be required. So I know, for example, like our College of Business, we have some students ask, you know, if I've already taken Calculus 1, and the step on the placement exam website says that I only need to take a placement exam if I plan to take Calculus 1 or higher and haven't received previous credit. Because you've already completed Calculus 1 beforehand, we can then place you in the next level of the course, which would be Calculus 2 or, you know, Calculus 3, whatever the next sequence in the course is. So in that case, you don't have to take the math placement exam. So that's pretty much true for all the other subject areas. I can talk about English. If any of you haven't taken the composition requirement, which are typically, if you're going to the Illinois community colleges, the 2 English classes that are required at your institution, one thing, you won't actually have to take a placement exam for that, but one thing that we can use in place of taking that course is actually your ACT score, your previous ACT score. If you did send that to us and you received a score of a 32, at least a 32 on the English portion, we can actually give you credit for that course as well. So keep that in mind, but then for any of the other subjects, I know like chemistry might be a placement exam you need to take if you are going into a field that requires chemistry, but you haven't yet completed any chemistry courses. So hopefully that gives you enough examples to determine where you would need to take these specific exams. For proficiency exams, some of you might be interested in taking a proficiency exam, and I think probably the most common time a student would take a proficiency exam would be for any of the language other than English requirements. So we do have that requirement as a graduation requirement on our campus for the College of Business and majority of the majors in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. To receive a degree from any of their programs, you would need to complete through the 4th level of a language other than English. If you completed that in high school, so that would be, for example, Spanish 4, German 4, Latin 4, French 4, anything at the level 4 of that language, you would complete that requirement even if you didn't take anything at the college level. For all other colleges on our campus, engineering, ACES, Applied Health Sciences, anything outside of business and liberal arts and sciences, it's only through the 3rd level, so Spanish 3, French 3, German 3. Again, if you completed that in high school, you're done with the requirement, or if you completed any classes at the college level and completed that sequence, you're also done too. But if you're actually fluent in a language, so let's say that you're fluent in Polish, or what else could you be fluent in?
Any language.
Pretty much anything. You could be fluent in French already, Spanish, German, but you didn't take the courses or you didn't complete the full requirement at any time in high school or college, but you are fluent in that actual language, you can take the proficiency exam. At that time, either there's a few online, the more common languages are going to be an exam online, otherwise you can come here, set up an appointment with the department, and they'll give you that proficiency exam. So if you pass that exam, you would be exempt from the rest of the requirement, so that you don't have to complete any more language classes. So. And that's a lot of information, I know, and again, that link on the actual checklist should help you out too.
Great. All right, so the next step is really important for you to kind of keep in the back of your mind because you can't quite do it at this point in time. But you need to make sure that you send us your final transcripts for your spring classes. The deadline for that is June 15th. We know that most of your classes are not going to end until probably sometime through at least mid-May. But we will need those transcripts as soon as possible so that we can go back and make sure that you have met all of the requirements that you said you were going to take when you applied, that you have maintained the GPA that is required for admission. Another important step in that process is letting us know about any course changes that you may have made within the past couple of months. So when you applied, you likely just reported the courses that you were planning on taking during the spring semester, and we used that course plan in making your admissions decision. So if it comes down to the fact that you ended up dropping a course, you didn't want to take it anymore, you need to let us know. If you have not already dropped the course, but you are considering it, I would highly, highly, highly encourage you to contact us first. Because if you drop a course that was required for the major that you are going to go into, it could impact your admissions decision. And so contacting us first, finding out if it's okay, is going to be the best way to ensure that that's not going to cause any problems with your admission. If you have already dropped it, and once you decide that you can drop it, you can submit the course change form, which is going to be located at the bottom of your admitted student checklist. Mm-hmm. You'll put in what course you've dropped or plan to drop, and we will send you back an email telling you that that's been approved. Once it's been approved, you have the peace of mind to know that there's not going to be any issue with you dropping that course. Now, the same would go for any summer classes that you're taking. So if you reported any summer classes when you applied, or you have sent us course change forms telling us you're going to pick up a summer course, you need to make sure that, one, you let us know if that changes at all, and two, you're going to need to send us those transcripts as well. So yes, that does mean sending us 2 transcripts. I know it's a lot of transcripts to send, but we need to have your spring courses in by June 15th, and with your summer courses, because the dates are so different for when those courses end, we just say get them to us as soon as possible. Eventually, we will put a hold on your account for your summer transcripts if you don't send them to us, which means that you're not going to be able to register for classes for future semesters. So that's going to be something that just kind of put in the back of your mind. It'll be a while, of course, till those summer courses are finished, but got to make sure you get us those transcripts.
And one of the last few steps on the checklist that we wanted to talk about was sending us the additional credit information. So I know a lot of you might have some test scores from your AP exams or IB exams from high school that you could receive college credit for. You might have already sent those to your previous institutions, and you probably already listed them on the application itself, which exams you completed, the score that you received. So that definitely helped us when evaluating your coursework and determining if you had the right requirements completed. But we still need the official exam scores sent to us from the College Board or from the IB exam services. So make sure to contact them if you haven't already. Send those as soon as you can, and then we begin to award that credit in the summertime as well. So, and also the advisors that you'll be working with during registration will also be using those test scores if needed during when they're helping you with the placement of your courses as well. So those are pretty much, there's a couple more steps on there. Just make sure that you complete the instructions that it's giving you. It's pretty simple. Just make sure that you're following this checklist. This is the most important thing, and really the last few things you need to do before you come to Illinois.
And one final thing, at the bottom after the checklist, there's a box with just some additional information, and one of the things that's probably going to be most important to you is your transfer evaluation report. So we have created a report that's going to show you how all of your courses transfer to Illinois. So if you want to know how you're going to get credit for each of your courses, which courses transfer, what your GPA is, things along those lines, that transfer evaluation report is right there for you. You can look at it. If you have any questions about how to read it, then you can always contact our office and we can kind of walk you through those next steps. So we hope that all of this information was helpful for you.
Yeah,
it's a lot of information.
We're very excited that you'll be here soon. So,
all right.
All right.
I do believe we have a question. Yeah. So what is the question?
Okay, so we have a couple questions that several people have asked. Unfortunately, we probably won't get to everything. Mm-hmm. But can you remind everybody what the deadline is to accept the offer of admission?
May 1st.
May 1st. And again, if for some of you need a little bit more time, just let us know. It's typically okay. But again, your registration for your transfers happens throughout the month of May. So the longer that you wait, it's likely that you'll miss the official transfer registration time. If you accept the offer later, you'll have to wait until the week before classes start in August, which I know isn't ideal. So definitely if you can accept earlier, that would be great. Yeah.
And then another one about changing majors. So just kind of general policy for transfer students changing their major, but also specifically address business and changing into business.
Okay. You want me to take it?
You can take that one.
Okay, so generally speaking, the simple answer to can I change my major is going to be yes, just because you're not going to be stuck in something that you don't want to do. We have over 150 different majors to choose from, so there are a lot of things that you can change your major into. However, depending upon where you're starting and where you want to go, could make the process either a little bit more difficult or impossible, actually. So with the College of Business, they are going to have their own special rules, which they do not allow double transfers. So what that means is that if you apply to the university in a major outside of the College of Business, any major that's not in the College of Business, and you're admitted to that major, and you come to Illinois studying communication or econ or anything that's not business, you will never be allowed to then transfer into the College of Business. So that's really important to keep in mind because there are no exceptions to this rule. So if you're not admitted to business for this semester, for this coming fall, at this point in time, your only option is to wait and apply for the fall of next year. And so if you're admitted to something else but you really want business, you won't want to come here and to that major because you can't get into business later on. Outside of that, though, you can change to most things. Engineering could be a little bit more difficult.
Yes, it's a very competitive, so that's one that we really can't guarantee for you either.
Yeah, so it could be possible, but with some of our more competitive majors, particularly within the College of Engineering, we would say that it could be extremely, extremely impossible to move to those later on. So I always like to tell students that if you choose to come to Illinois and you're admitted to a program, you would want to come here with the idea that if you graduated from here within the next couple of years with that degree, you would be happy with that degree. Because yes, you can change, but you don't want to just count on being able to change to some specific major just in case there are any type of restrictions, space constraint, course restrictions, or anything like that. You'd want to make sure you would be happy if you graduated with a degree with the program you're admitted to.
How about double majoring or maybe even minoring? Might be a little bit more pertinent to this conversation. So to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So a number of our programs will allow you to do a double major, which would be a second major within the same college that you are enrolled in. Sometimes a dual degree, so that would be another major in a different college that you've been enrolled in. And also we have a few minors. Well, I shouldn't say a few. We have a lot of minors, but just not every program is offered as a minor on our campus. So the best thing that to do, and that we always encourage students to do, is make sure to talk to your advisor. You want to talk to the department of your admitted program, the program that you're enrolling in, as well as the second program that you're adding, whether that be the second major or a minor that you're considering. So just to make sure that that you're able to do both programs, also to get an idea of what that might look like in terms of what your schedule would be now every semester. Will that extend your time on campus? And again, if that's something that you're willing to do to get those courses done, that's completely up to you. Know that it might extend your time if the classes aren't overlapping. So make sure that you're always contacting both departments first so that you can see if that is doable. I know that College of Business is one that doesn't allow a double major dual degree, so definitely keep that in mind. But you can do a minor in business. That's very common for a lot of our students. If you wanted to still have a little bit of a business background, but we unfortunately can't award a second degree in that, you can do a business minor. If you actually want to see a list of all the minors that we have on our campus, it is on our admissions website, so you all know where to find that, admissions.illinois.edu. On the Discover tab at the very top, you'll select Discover, Academics, so that will get you to our programs, and you can actually, when you click our, I think it says View Programs or Academics. View Majors. The View Majors page, and then there's actually another link there that will take you to the list of the minors. So it is a very long list, and some of the minors that we have are not even offered as majors. So there might be something there that, even if it's not your actual major that you're getting a degree in, it's still something that can really help you supplement what you want to do later on and getting that type of background. Even if you don't end up changing your major, you can still get that curriculum into your schedule.
Okay, and one last question. So if there were any questions we didn't get to tonight, how can they contact our office?
They can contact our office in pretty much any way, shape, or form you can think of.
Contact Casey.
You can contact me. You can contact April.
You can contact me too.
You can call us. Telephone number 217-333, I'm going to forget it, 0302. Make sure I'm not saying the wrong phone number. You can always send us an email. The email address for the office is admissions@illinois.edu. You can ask questions on the Facebook page. We have Twitter. We have blogs. Instagram. I would encourage you definitely to check out our blogs as well. There's some great information there about campus, about being a transfer student. I also write some of the blogs, so that's why maybe you want to check some of those out as well.
I'm also on YouTube, so make sure you check those
videos
out too.
Yeah, so really you can get a hold of us any way you want. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. So during those hours, if you call us, there will be somebody available to talk to you. And if you're in the area, you can stop in our office as well. We have open walk-in hours during all of the hours that we are open here. So, plenty of ways to get a hold of us. Yes.
All right, I guess that wraps up our Facebook Live chat. Hopefully this was helpful for you all. Again, feel free to contact us if you guys have any more questions.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.